ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome back to the Srimad Bhagavatam thematic series 1 and 2. We have been discussing the first three verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam 111, 112 and 113. And up till now we are still in 111. Especially we have been discussing Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam 111. And up till now we have seen the Mangalacharan which Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur begins by first glorifying in the Mangalacharan Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then the absolute truth, and then Rup Sanatan and his humility he expresses. Then he offers himself to Krishna and the cowherd man. And then he compares the Bhagavatam to Mohini avatar. The glory of the Bhagavatam, the Anushtaya Chatus, Anubandha Chatushtaya, or the scripture quadruple, we saw that, Adhikari, Vishaya, Prayojan, Sambandh. How Bhagavatam has these four things. The glories of the Bhagavatam, he compares the Bhagavatam to the sun, to the Adhyatma Deepa, torchlight, and the mature fruit of the desired tree. And the Mohini avatar, and Bhagavatam is full of rasa. We saw references for that. And how the other Puranas and Ityas are compared to night watchmen, and the Bhagavatam is compared to the sun, which has just risen. This is a very metamorphical comparison, which we also discussed. We also discussed the first explanation of the Srimad Bhagavatam verse by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And we saw that various acharyas have commented on this first verse. We only saw the Gaudiya Vaishnava acharyas. And then based on the Anubandha Chatushtaya, these 5 explanations The first explanation, we saw how the explanation is giving deliverance for the misery through the general understanding of the Lord as absolute truth. Krishna is Satyam Param, and the Adhikari is devotees. Sambandha is Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Prayojan is experiencing Prema. And the Puranic characteristics are Sarga and Nirodha. Today we will go to the second explanation of Vishwanath Chakra Thakur. The second explanation is very, very interesting. We have spent in the last class discussing how the Vedanta Sutra verses 111, 112, 113, 4, 5, and 16 are corresponding in the explanation of Srimad Bhagavatam 111. And also we saw that there is apekshasya, refuting the other arguments. So we saw all the Purva Paksha arguments. There are Purva Paksha 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think eight Purva Pakshas. All the 8 Purva Pakshas. Ninth one is also there. No, eight are there. No, 9 is also there. All illogical arguments. Also we saw this. So now let's begin today with the second explanation. The first explanation, as I mentioned, was very philosophical and technical in one sense. The second onwards, third, fourth, fifth are more sweeter as they go ahead. And it is quite simple also, which devotees will easily follow. So again, now in the second explanation of Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, the Bhagavatam is compared to the sun. So it's more powerful, destroying the misconceptions of the demons and bringing joy to the devotees. Now here also the Vishaya is Krishna, but it is Vrindavan Krishna, the darling of Vrindavan. Here it is the absolute truth. It is in the form of Tattva. Here in the form of Rasa, you can say. And who can relish this? Those who are very pure-hearted. That's why here the Adhikaris are Nirmatsaranam Satam. And again, the Sambandha and Prayojan remains the same. And the Puranic characteristics in the second explanation is Visarga, Sthana, Oshana, Uti, Manvantara, Ishanukata, and Mukti. All these are covered in the second explanation. So let us now recite the second verse. And the translation is again a little different from the first one. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadhyasya to Anvayaditaraschaarteshu Abhignaswarat Tene Brahmridayadikave Muyanti Yatsuraya Tejo Varim Mridam Yatha Vinamayo Yatra Trisargo Mrisha Dhamna Svena Sada Nirastakuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. So Satyam Param Dhimahi here, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur in his second explanation translates as, let us meditate on Krishna who is known as Satya. So Krishna's name itself is Satya. And Vishwanath Chakra Thakur is going to prove by giving references on the scriptures. Who through his abode Mathura and by revealing of his form to his devotees destroys ignorance concerning himself. Dhamna Svena Sada Nirastakuhakam. Whose bodily, though appearing to be material to the demons, is not temporary at all. So this is also further explanation of Dhamna Svena Sada Nirastakuhakam only. Who after appearing in Vasudev's house, Janmadi Asya Yato. So Janmadi in the first explanation, creation, maintenance and destruction. Janma means here it is birth. So Krishna took the birth in the prison house of Vasudev, actually in the Kamsa. So he appeared to Vasudev. Went to Nanda's house. Anvayad Itara. Itara means he went somewhere else. He took birth, Vasudev's house, and went to Nanda's house. Knowing how to cheat. And who? Knowing the appearance of his devotees Premna in Vraja. Charteshu Abhigna. So Krishna knows how to cheat. He's the cheater among the cheaters. And he knew that Prema had appeared in Gokul. So in order to relish that Prema, he moved to Gokul. Remained there because of his own people, though he is in all cases independent. Although the absolute truth is Swarat, he's a supreme controller, but he's controlled by love. So here, more not from the tattva, from the rasa point, the absolute truth is Bhaktavatsal, and he remained there in Braj. So that is the translation of Swarat, and who revealed that the cows and the calves were actually the supreme Brahman to Brahma by his will. Tene Brahma Rida Ya Adi Kavaye. So this is, who revealed the Vedic knowledge to Brahma in his heart. So here, a deeper understanding of the 10th canto pastimes are given here. That ultimately Krishna revealed to Brahma that all the calves and cows are the supreme absolute truth, Brahman, which bewilders even persons like Narada. Muyanti yatya suraya. So we saw in the previous explanation is that even the demigods are bewildered. So here it is mentioned that even he bewilders Narada. Okay. So again, everything is here put in the chart. Let us meditate on Krishna who is Satya and who through his abode matra reveals his form to his devotees and destroys the jiva's ignorance. And Tejo Vari Mridam Yata Vinmayo, like the body is made of three gunas, three sarga, by the combination of three visible elements, earth, water, and fire, which are false. Yatra Trisago Amrisha. The form which is created by these three gunas is not false. It's not temporary. So although the bodies in this world are made of three gunas, so Krishna also comes in this world. So Krishna's body is also made of three gunas? No. He has created the three gunas. So his form is not false. Whereas the forms in this material world are all false and temporary. So that's about the, you can say the Swarup Lakshana. The Tatastha Lakshana is Janmadeyasya, is who after appearing in Vasudev's house. Anvayad Itara means he went to Nanda's house. Why? Arteshu Abhigna, knowing that to cheat Kamsa, and who, knowing the appearance of his devotees, Prema in Vraja, Swarat remained there with his own people, although he is independent. And he revealed the cows and calves to be Brahman to Brahma, who is Adi Kavi. And he even bewilders great personalities such as Narada and Shiva. What to speak of Narada and Shiva? Even Balram got bewildered in that Leela, Brahmavim Leela. He also could not realize that the cows and the calves were Krishna himself. It's only just a few days before, uh, when that particular pastime happened on the Govardhan hill, when the calves and the cows came running to Krishna. Not to Krishna, to the cowherd man. And Balram, seeing this scene, was bewildered. How come, the calves have grown up, but still they are showing so much affection, such deep affection and love? Because the they were all the supreme absolute truth. And then Krishna whispered in Balram's ear, "This is what has happened." So anyone knows why Balram was also covered by Yogamaya? It's not Mahamaya. Great devotees like Narada and Shiva, Krishna covers by his Yogamaya in one sense, whereas the people in this world or the demigods are covered by Mahamaya, and what to speak of the conditioned souls. So why was Balram also covered by Krishna's Maya, Muyanti at Surya, in this particular pastime? What is the reason? Anyone knows? Raise your hands. Anyone is aware? Why did Krishna even, you know, discover Balram. Of course, not Mahamaya, but Yogamaya. In this case, in this pastime. Anyone knows the reason? You can speculate also. No problem. Any thoughts? Lakshmi Narasimhan Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Just a guess, Prabhuji, maybe to increase the bliss. That's one thing I could.
Is the bliss.
That's one thing.
Anyone else would like to try? Actually, when Krishna himself transformed into the cows and the calves, into the calves and the gopas, Krishna being super sensitive, he understood that Balram, if he comes to know that no more his friends Sridhama and Sudhama, they are actually Sridhama and Sudhama, but they are Krishna himself, he would miss the association of and separation from Sridhama and Sudhama. So that's why Krishna did not allow Balram to know that. So that he will miss the separation from Sridhama and Sudhama, especially Sridhama. And that is why Krishna covered even Balram this pastime. So Vishwanath Thakur gives this explanation in his 10th canto. Okay, now let's go into the commentary of the second verse. It is said in the Bhagavatam, Dasamasya Vishuddhartham Navamam Iha Lakshanam Varnayanti Mahatmanha Shrutenarthena Chandjasa. The great devotees such as Vidura and Maitreya describe Varnayate Mahatmana properly the 9 topics, Navamam Iha Lakshanam, in order to impart the highest knowledge of the 10th topic. Dashamasya Vishuddhartham. So the 9 topics ultimately focus on the 10th topic, that is Ashraya. So that's why they are discussed through the words of the scripture and stories to illustrate their meaning. Shrutenartha Anjasa. So this is how Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur becomes his commentary. So if you see the whole translation of the second explanation is the 10th canto pastimes. Krishna who appeared in Mathura and then went to Gokul, and the Brahma Vimohala also happened in the 10th canto pastime. So that's why he is mentioning that the 9 topics completely focus on Ashraya. Since the Supreme Lord is the Angi in relation to all other topics, and since Krishna is the chief form of the Lord, and since there is praise for his extraordinary qualities, Krishna should be indicated in the first verse. So in the first verse commentary, it's not Krishna who creates these universes in the expansions. That's why Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya it is. Satyam Param, the absolute truth from whom this creation comes. The absolute truth is Krishna, who is Avatari. He is Avatari and all others are Avatar. He is Angi and all others are Angas. So that's why directly the chief form of Krishna should be indicated. That's why I meditate on Krishna who is Satya. Thus, the second explanation of the first verse has arisen devoted only to Krishna. This is indicated at the beginning with the description of Krishna's birth. So directly, Janmadi Asyata is Krishna's birth. Satyam Param Bhimayi is explained as Krishna. Directly, it is explained as Krishna. And we saw in Prabhupada's commentary, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva directly speaks about Krishna, Prabhupada says. So here also Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is explaining the same thing. Now, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the Satyam Param Dhimayi is Krishna and Satya. Satya is Krishna. To give proof, Krishna is Supreme Satya. He quotes a verse from the prayers of the demigods in the womb of Mother Devaki. Satya Satyam Satya Param Trisatyam Satyasya Yonim Nihitam Cha Satye Satyasya Satyaritam Satyanetram Satyatmakam Tvam Sharanam Prapanna. O Lord, you never deviate from your vow. Satyavrata, who is always perfect because whatever you decide is perfectly correct and cannot be stopped by anyone. Being present in the three phases of cosmic manifestation, creation, maintenance, and annihilation, you are the supreme truth. Param Tri Satyam. Indeed, unless one is completely truthful, one cannot achieve your favor, which therefore cannot be achieved by hypocrites. Satyasya yonim, here it is, I think the second explanation. And nihitam cha satyam. You are the active principle, the real truth in all the ingredients of creation, and therefore you are known as Antaryami, the inner force. You are equal to everyone, and your instructions apply for everyone for all times. You are the beginning of all truth, Satyatmakam. Therefore, offering our obeisances, Sharanam, we surrender. Tvam Sharanam Prapanna. Unto you, kindly give us protection. So you can see Satya, 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 Satya 4, Satya, Satya 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times Krishna is addressed as Satya. So this is one Praman. Then he gives another Praman from the Mahabharata, where Sanjay, explaining the derivation of Krishna's name, explains why Krishna is addressed as Satya. Satye pratishtita Krishna Satyam atra pratishtitam Satyat Satyam cha Govindas Tasmat Satyo hi namata. Krishna is fixed in the highest truth. Satye pratishtita Krishna. And truth is fixed in him. Satyam atra pratishtita. Krishna is fixed in truth and truth is fixed in Krishna. Because all truths arise from him. Tasma Satyo hi namata. Govinda is respected as truth or Satya. Satya Satyam cha Govinda. So here Krishna is derived from the meaning, as truth. So that's how Satya is also referring to Krishna. Krishna is addressed as Satya. Now the third proof he gives. This is the third proof actually. This is the first scriptural proof from Bhagavatam. This is the third proof. Brahmanda Puran also says Satyam Shri Krishna Dhimai Param Brahma Narakriti. We meditate upon Krishna Dhimai, the supreme Brahman, Param Brahma with human form, Narakriti. Satyam. So here again there is another scriptural proof. The fourth proof. And Gopal Tapani Upanishad says, Tasmat Krishna eva paro devas tam dhyayet. Therefore, Tasmat, Krishna is the supreme Lord. Krishna eva paro devas. And one should meditate on tam dhyayet. So, Satyam Param Dhimai, one should meditate on Krishna, the absolute truth. So, four scriptural proofs how Krishna is Satya is given by Vishwanath Thakur. Now, further, let us meditate on Krishna, the Jiva's ignorance of whom, Kuhakam, is always destroyed by his abode called Mathura and by his form, Svena Dhamna, which can be seen by mercy even today. So this is the explanation of Dhamna, Svena, Kuhakam. The two causes are illustrated by the following verses. Matyate tu jagat sarvam brahma jnanena yena va tatsarabhutam yad yasyam mathura sa nigadhyate. So the two causes are, the jiva's ignorance is destroyed and the Lord's form is revealed by the Lord's mercy. Mathura, so the Mathura glory, the abode is revealed. Mathura is defined. Mathura sa nigadate is that place which excites the whole world to Jagat Sarvam as it is non-different from the Lord. Brahma Jnanena Yenava, or that place in which the essence of spiritual knowledge, Tat Sarabhutam Yasyam, is extracted. Mathyate. Mathyate means to extract. How in the buttermilk, the butter is extracted. Now the second process. Shravanat kirtanat dhyanat uyante antavasina tava brahma ayesesha kim uteksha vimarshina. O Lord, Isha, even outcasts are purified. Puyante ante vasina, by hearing and chanting your glories and meditating. Shravanat kirtanat dhyanat. Upon you, Tava, the absolute truth, Brahma Mayasya. What then to speak of those who see and touch you? Kim, Uti, Iksha, Abhi, Varshina. So here is the second proof. The second cause is the form can be seen by the mercy of the Lord even today. So this is from the 10th canto. Now again, let's go to Purva Paksha. So the Purva Paksha argument and Vishwanath's refutation. The first Purva Paksha is whatever is seen in the material world is temporary. Therefore, Krishna's form is also temporary. Now, the refutation is the body is made of the three gunas, three sarga, by the combination of three visible elements, earth, water, fire, and air, are false. They are temporary. But the form which created those gunas is not false and not temporary. So, this is the refutation Vishwanath Thakur gives. Okay, let's go into the actual commentary. According to Amarkosha, Dhama means house, body, effulgence, and influence. So Amarkosh is a dictionary and he's the author, just like you have the Macmillan dictionary or the Collins dictionary. So Macmillan is the author of the dictionary, or Collins is the author of the Collins dictionary. Similarly, Amarkosh, Amar is the author, and Dhamna has these different meanings. So here, body. Whatever is seen by the material eye is temporary because everything is made of three gunas and they're all illusion. Because Krishna's form can be seen in the material world, it must be also temporary. So this is the Purva Paksha. The body is made of the three gunas, Trisarga, by the combination of three visible elements, earth, water, fire, are false. They are temporary. But the form which created those three gunas is not false, not temporary. So this is the you know Purva Paksha, and this is the uh, argument to counter it, and this is how the Siddhanta has been explained by Vishwanath Thakur. Okay, any questions up till now? Any questions, any clarifications? I hope you're able to follow the discussion. Yes, Virendra Yadav Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Dhanutna. Prabhu, this refutation of this first you mentioned, I could not understand how it is.
You did not understand.
Yes.
Okay. So the Purva Paksha is here that because all these manifestations in this material world are ultimately the manifestations of the three sarga, the three gunas, and that's why it is illusionary. It is illusionary, and that's why the first explanation, if you saw, sometimes if you're for a long time in water, you seem to see in the water body services maybe there is earth, or you're too much on earth like in the desert, then you can see mirage, which is like appearance of water, but it is all there is no water actually. So similarly, the bodies or the universes, all which are composed, they are all illusionary. Now the argument is that Krishna's whatever is seen in the material world is all temporary and illusory. And Krishna's form is seen in this temporary world, so Krishna's form is also illusionary. And the refutation was that the form which created those three gunas is not false and not temporary. It's not false because that form existed before the creation also. We discussed that in the first explanation.
Right.
That eyes which glanced at the creation, what were those eyes? Because the creation had not yet happened, and the elements were not created. So those eyes were spiritualized. So that form which created these gunas is not temporary, and it is not composed of the three gunas. So that is a refutation. I hope it is clear now.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? So I'll go a bit slow, step by step, so that you can follow. Next, Purva Paksha argument and Vishwanath Chakravarti's refutation. So, yes, this form now is not temporary, it is not illusory. But how demons are able to see the form of the Lord? The refutation is the transcendental body of the Lord, though seen by the demons with material bodies, is seen by them without realization of its sweetness, just as sugar candy has no sweet taste when eaten by a person afflicted with jaundice. This is because of the will of the Lord arising from his inconceivable Sarupa, which accomplished his various times. Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yogamaya Samavrita Mudoyam na Bijanati Loko Mam Ajam Avayam. So, although the demons also can see the form, but the demons, because they are without realization of the Swarupa of the Lord or the sweetness of the Lord, that's why they are seeing is like a person who is jaundice afflicted. He tastes sugar candy. He cannot feel the taste. So they cannot, feel the rasa. So again, I'm further explaining from Vishnu Chakravarti's commentary. The transcendental body of the Lord, this is now established as the truth, though seen by the demons with material bodies, is seen by them without realization of its sweetness, just as sugar candy has no sweet when eaten by a person afflicted with jaundice. This is because of the will of the Lord arising from his inconceivable Sarupa, which is accomplished by his various pastimes. And the quotation was Naham Prakasha. The devotees, however, can realize that form of sweetness by the influence of the Lord's inconceivable mercy. So, as long as, what's the point in seeing Krishna's form? If Krishna comes and shows his beautiful Tribanga Lalita form, if there is no devotion in the heart, if the Sarup Shakti in the form of Bhakti Shakti, in the form of Ladini Shakti and the Sambit Shakti is not there in the heart, what is the point seeing that form? That's why Avajananti Ma Muda Manusham Tarumashita. You will think that this is also like a human form, like any other form which we see. So the deity form of the Lord is completely transcendental, although made of material elements, but it is purely spiritual. So the materialists come to the temple and see. So what they see? They just see stone. But this young Brahmana in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the young and the old Brahmana had gone for a pilgrimage, and in Vrindavan they had the darshan of Gopal. So this Brahmana, young Brahmana, when the old Brahmana was pleased, he told, I'll give my daughter in marriage because I'm pleased by her service. He said, see, you're telling this in the form of in front of Gopal deity. Gopal is witness. But when they came back, he was little hesitating because his brothers were, opposing it. So he was praying to Gopal, the old Brahmana. And this young Brahmana wanted to maintain the vow of the old Brahmana. So that's why he went. But when he could not fulfill, he ultimately went to Vrindavan. Said, Gopal, your witness, come. And Gopal spoke. Murti nahi, tumi sakshat Vrajendranan. You're directly Vrajendranan Krishna. How can I come? I'm a deity, Krishna said. When you can talk, you can walk, he said. So Krishna got defeated by the arguments of his own devotee. Krishna gets defeated by love. So the devotees can realize the form of sweetness by the inconceivable mercy of the Lord. So this is now scriptural proofs how devotees can see the inconceivable form of the Lord by the Lord's mercy. Now this proof is from the 10th canto, 86th chapter, verse 20. And this is there also in the first canto when Krishna entered Dwarka also. Anartha Danva Kuru Jangal Kanka Matsya Panchal Kunti Madhu Kekeha Koshalarnaha Anye Chitanmukha Saroja Mudarhasa Snigdekshanam Ripapapur Drishibir Nirnaraya. The men and the woman, Nirnaraya. Nir is men, Nari means women. Of Anarth, Danva, Kurujangala, Kanka, Matsya, Panchala, Kunti, Madhu, Kekaya, Koshala, Arna, and many other kingdoms, Anishe, drank with their eyes Papur Drishabhi, the nectarian beauty of Krishna's lotus-like face, Tan Mukha Sarojam, which was graced with generous smiles, Udarahasa, and affectionate glasses, Snigdha Ikshanam. So all relish rasa by seeing the beautiful form of the Lord. When Krishna from Hastinapur was going back to Dwarka, he passed through all these places. All these places, all these holy places. So they were able to see and relish rasa. Just like, a tiger sees a beautiful woman, he's not attracted to any Madhuri Ras. Just like a male is attracted to a female, the attraction is based on conjugal love. But for the tiger, it is just flesh. So similarly, the demons seeing the form of the Lord, they cannot relish any rasa. It's only the devotees who can relish rasa. Now he gives a second reference. Again, continuing, I'll just read the translation. Simply by glancing at those who came to see him, Tabhya Swa Vikshanam, Lord Krishna, the spiritual master of the three worlds, three Loka Guru, delivered from the blindness, delivered from them from the blindness of materialism. Vinashta Tamishra Dridbhya. And he thus endowed them with fearlessness, Shemam, and divine vision. Artha Drisham Cha Yachan. And he heard Shunvan, demigods and men singing his glories. Geetam Surabhir Nibir, who purify the entire universe. Diganta Dhavalam, and destroy all misfortune. Swayasho Shubha Dhanam. Gradually he reached Videha. Agat Chanakaira Videhan. So he reached his abode. So they saw the form because Krishna had bestowed them divine vision. Just like Arjuna also saw the Vishwarupa because Krishna gave him the divine vision. Divyam dadami te chakshu. I'm giving you now divine vision, celestial vision. So this is the second reference. These verses show that by his mercy alone and his great powers can be his mercy alone, his great powers can be understood. Now the next proof is Narayan Adhyatma. Nityavyaktopi Bhagavan Ikshate Nija Shaktita Tamrite Paramanandam Kaha Pashitam Itam Prabhum. Though the Lord is eternally invisible. Nitya Avyakto Pi Bhagavan. He is invisible to the material eyes. He is seen by his own energy. Ikshate Nija Shaktita. Who can see the Lord? Kaha Pashyatam Itya Prabhum. Full of supreme bliss without that energy. Tam Rite Paramanandam. So without the inconceivable energy of the Lord, without the Lord bestowing his Shakti, one cannot see his beautiful form, transcendental form. Now another proof also is given. Tata Swayam Prakashatva शक्त्या स्वेच्छ प्रकाशया सोऽभिव्यक्तो भवेन्नेत्र स नेत्र विषयकृत. Thus, by his self-manifesting energy, tata swayam prakashatva shaktya, arising from his own will, swachcha prakashaya, the Lord who is not visible to the eye, sa netra vishayakrita, comes visible to the eye, so abhivyakto bhave netra. So this is another scriptural proof. Okay, next, he gives a proof from the Shrutis. Tasam madhe sakshat Brahma Gopal Puri he. In the middle of that expanse, Tasam madhe, one can see the abode of Krishna, Gopal Puri he, made of Brahman, Sakshat Brahma. That Puri itself, Gopal Puri, means Golok Vrindavan, is completely spiritual. It is composed of Brahman. So one can see that. So this is another proof which Vishwanath Chakatakur gives. Thus, the abodes of the Lord, also made of spiritual matter, become visible. What to speak of the seeing the form of the Lord, which is spiritual? Even the abodes of the Lord, which are spiritual, become visible. Those who are knowledgeable by the Lord's mercy conclude that things like pots, which are seen and which are not spiritual, are temporary. We can just think and reflect that how much we are deeply stooped in Maya, that although this material world is temporary, everything is illusionary, but these forms so much attract us, and we don't reflect that it's all temporary. Why we are attracted to it? And the Lord's form, which is completely free from illusion, which is eternal, we are not attracted. Okay. Now, before going to the further explanation, there is a question. Before I take up this question, I have one question. Can anyone give scriptural proof of from the Bhagavatam or any other scripture where the abode of the Lord, which is completely spiritual, was revealed to the devotees? Anyone? Tirthpath Prabhuji, yes. Specifically the abode of the Lord, which was revealed as spiritual. Yes.
Harikrishna Prabhu, Dandapam. Prabhuji, from Brahma Samhita, Chintamani Prakara Satmasu Kalpa
Yes. In the Brahma Samhita, the Lord Brahma was revealed Golok Vrindavan. And then he saw the form of the Lord there, and then he glorified. Any other examples?
No, Prabhuji, this only I know.
Okay. Before Brahma saw Golok Vrindavan, that is after his 50th birthday, he saw that. Subrit Prabhuji, yes. Yes, Prabhuji. I'm not able to hear you. The audio, I think, has to be on from your side. Yes, Prabhuji, I have unmuted you. Maybe you have to type. I think there is some problem, the audio. Okay, anyone else? Sunita Mataji, yes.
I'll just try, Prabhuji. In Brihad Bhagavatamrit, the abode was revealed to Kumar.
Gokumar directly went there.
Yes.
He went there. Tadhama na shashvata. I am not able to really follow this. I want examples. In the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam, Mahavaikuntha darshan was given to Brahmaji. The 10th canto, the cowherd men were shown the spiritual abode, although they were living in the spiritual abode, which was far superior. But Krishna showed that, you know. So that is there. Many other examples are there. Okay. Okay. Now I'll take up this question, which our Yad Dhama Paramam Yad Gatvam. Oh, this is the Bhagavad Gita verse. Yeah, I know that, but we wanted some practical examples of devotees who actually had the darshan of the spiritual abode of the Lord. Yes, Devahuti Kapil Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, the previous slide, you mentioned the verse, right? In the previous slide, paragraph 14.
Mhm.
So, what's the source of this, Prabhuji?
This there is no source. It is an explanatory verse.
Oh,
Explanatory verses are called as karika in Sanskrit. Just like a Padma Puran verse says Nama Chintamani Chaitanya Rasavigra Nitya Mukto Purna Shuddho Abhinnatamam Nama Nami. So this is a verse quoted in the Padma Puran, and you write your own verse explaining that verse,
okay.
explaining that Padma
Okay.
Puran verse. That is called as a karika, and this is the karika in one sense, you can say, and that's why it is composed by the author himself. So where the source is, it's not given here, at least.
Okay. Okay. So, for which source verse this is the explanatory verse, it is not given. Okay.
Not given.
Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes this in his commentary, is it?
Yes, he quotes in this.
Okay,
It's an
Prabhuji.
explanatory verse.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Good question. Yes, any other questions up till now? Okay, we'll complete the second explanation, which is quite interesting. Yeah, we finished here. The abodes are having explained that the cause of the Lord's appearance is his mercy, his pastimes are explained. So the Lord, Janmadya, his appearance, is, the devotees can see only by his causeless mercy. Now the pastime is explained. I meditate upon Krishna, who after his birth, Janmadayata, in Vasudev's house, showed the form of Vishnu, described his previous appearances, etc., and later went Anvayat. It is Anvayat. Sorry, there is some mistake. Elsewhere, Itara, to the house of Nanda. Why did he go? Knowing his own purposes, abhigna arteshu, such as how to cheat Kamsa, or knowing those who had revealed forms with various types of prema, such as Vatsalya and Vraja, he went to Nanda's house. He went to Nanda's house because he knew that Vatsalya prema had manifested, and in order to relish that Vatsalya prema, he went there. But this does not mean that he is dependent on others. He went there because he was dependent on that Vatsalya prema, yes? He is independent, ruling over himself. Swarat, Svena, Rajate. Or Swarat can mean that he remained there in Vraja, Virajate, because of his relatives such as Nanda, Swajana. Because of performing such pastimes under the control of prema of his devotees in Vraja, one should not think that he is a fool. He revealed Tene, the Brahma, the calves and cowherd boys, to be Brahman. Brahman means Brahma, spiritual. Unto Lord Brahma, Adikave, by his own will, by his will alone, Ridha, by which, through his power of Yogamaya, even the intelligence of persons like Shiva and Narada are bewildered. Now, I had mentioned, if you remember, that bewilderment of Shiva or Narada is by Yogamaya, whereas the conditioned jivas, even up to the demigods, is Mahamaya. Okay. Now Brahma, he gives another explanation. Or Krishna by the statements of his Swamsha form Matsya. So Krishna in his Swamsha form as Matsya revealed his form as impersonal Brahman to Satyavrata. So Satyavrata is his Adi Kavi, who was a wise man, Kavi, and the founder of his dynasty. He was the Adi of his dynasty. That is another Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kave. So another explanation. This is described in the following verse from the 8th canto. By my mercy, Anugritam me, you will realize Vatyasya, my power, Madhyam Mahimanam, known as impersonal Brahman, Param Brahmeti Shabditam, which will be disclosed in your heart through questions and answers. Samprashne Vivritam Vridhi. So this is the Praman that, through Matsya also he revealed this. Sridhar Swami explains this verse as follows. You will directly see Vatyasya, this Brahman, which will be by my mercy, may Anuvrita. It will be explained at the beginning of the prayers of personified Vedas, 10th canto, personified Vedas, that the Brahman is realized by the Lord's mercy alone. Even the Brahman is also realized by the Lord's mercy alone. Okay, so that completes the second explanation. We will begin the third explanation, and tomorrow we will conclude all the 5 explanations. But any questions or clarifications up till now? Yes, Devahuti Kapil Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one thing I'm not able to, understand is when Krishna says he reveals the impersonal Brahman or the impersonal realization, right? Maybe sometimes even jnanis get that realization. So, what exactly is the feeling behind that? If you can help understand in some simple terms.
What feeling about what?
Like what exactly is the realization, right? Like, so what would they actually be thinking at that point of time? What would be the revelation be like? So say for example, when people who are involved in bhakti, they can see the 400, they can see the 400 form of the yogis, they can see the 400 form of Krishna in their heart, or some people can even have the spiritual vision when they are meditating, or even when they are not meditating, even when they're having the eyes open in Vrindavan or Mathura, they can have that spiritual vision, right? So my question is the impersonal revelation or the Brahman revelation, like how can we try to understand that with our mind and intelligence?
Oh, the impersonal revelation which Krishna is situated in the heart, and based on the path one chooses. The Jnana path is for meditating on the impersonal Brahman. Based on that, you know, ye yatam mam prapadyante, he will reveal accordingly. So the impersonal, conception is very, very abstract, and it is difficult to, get a what uh, uh, realization. But definitely, one can understand that Brahma Ananda, the happiness of merging in the impersonal Brahman, or the happiness at the transcendental platform. Uh, there is happiness at the transcendental platform even when we realize as soul, and we experience, we are different from the body, and that bliss what we experience is completely a different experience of any of these experiences of bliss in the form of enjoying sense gratification, which is material happiness, or the highest level of happiness, which is the highest happiness in the material world is sex pleasure. So it is beyond that. So one has to experience it.
That is
And
the
then only one
Shastra,
can.
right?
Yeah. So it's not something which you can describe it. It has to be experienced. So
Okay.
that's why even the Paramatma realization in the, I'm just giving you a reference to, just give you some idea. Like the Brahman experience, I can give you references. Uh, uh, which is this verse, Brahma Sparsham, you know. Yes. Bhaya Sparsheshu Asaktatma Vindati. Vindati means Nandati, happiness, you know, taking pleasure, enjoying. Atmani, in the self. Yat Sukham, the happiness. Sa Brahma Yoga, in concentration in Brahman. Prabhupada, see how so particular he is. He could have said Brahman as Supreme Bhagwan, right? Yuktatma, self-connected. Sukham, happiness. Akshayam, unlimited, like Akshay Patra. Ashnute, enjoys. So this is the Praman, you know, of 521. And the Paramatma Vadi, or the yogi, he also experiences the Paramatma feature of the Lord, which is still superior to the Brahman. And you know, Sukham Atyantikam Yattat Buddhigrahya Matendriyam. Same, you know, beyond the senses, there also Vetya Etrana Chayavas Yatas Chalati Tatvada. So this is, you know, the Paramatma happiness realization. And the highest is Bhagwan. You can imagine. So there is Jadanand in the material world. There is Jadanand, happiness in material things. There is Brahmanand. And then there is Sevanand. You know, Sevanand is when the devotee relishes rasa with the Lord in form of service in Sakya, Dasya, Vatsalya, and Madhuri. So like that, there are these gradations. Is it okay?
Any Bhagavatam stories can you give, Prabhuji, for Brahman and Paramatma realization, which we can, read and understand how that devotee's experience was?
Oh, well, in the Bhagavatam, in the Kapil Shiksha, it is there. In the Kapil Shiksha, chapter 26 and 27, how by Gyan Yoga one attains liberation is there. And chapter 28, Ashtang Yoga, how the devotee relishes the Lord's beauty in the heart, what is his experience is there. And of course, Bhakti Yoga is there everywhere, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
So like that is there. Again, it is Bhagavatam is it's like a explanation of the Gita. So the two verses of Gita which I showed, one 5.21, that is for Gyan Yoga, 6.20 to 23 is Ashtanga Yoga.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions anyone has? So I think it's time up. So we will not continue the third explanation. Third, fourth, and fifth will require only one class. So that we will take it up tomorrow then. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Hare Krishna.